Welcome to the Calgary Environmental Roundtable Municipal Election Campaign, led by the Gravity Well podcast with me, Jenny Yeremy. The Calgary Environmental Roundtable, or CERT for short, is a nonpartisan coalition of environmental and climate organizations working together to ensure that water, nature, and climate are front of mind, and that our members have an ongoing opportunity to shape the future of our city. Through our candidate questionnaire, mayoral and ward podcast panels, and voter engagement tool, CERT is connecting residents with candidates, elevating environmental priorities, and empowering Calgarians to make informed choices at the ballot box. Municipal decisions directly affect the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the communities we live in. As Calgary continues to grow, we must prioritize clean water, biodiversity, and bold climate action to ensure a safe and thriving city for generations to come. Our list of supporters is growing. Reach out to add your organization. Send your candidates and network the CERT questionnaire. Encourage their participation and ongoing relationship building with their representatives. Remember to follow, like, subscribe, and share the Gravity Well podcast. Together we can build a resilient, healthy, and sustainable city for all Calgarians.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm welcome to the stage, Stephanie Westlund from Solar Alberta. As you can see, Solar Alberta has been added to our groups that we've named in this campaign for the municipal election, our Building a Greener Future for Calgary campaign. Today, we're going to be speaking with one of your Ward 8 candidates, Miguel Cortinez. Independent candidate Nathaniel Schmidt, unfortunately, is dealing with an emergency situation, but he did take the time to answer the survey, so please take a look at that, and we'll introduce Miguel in a second. But first, let's take a moment. Stephanie, would you mind please introducing yourself properly and maybe say a little bit more about Solar Alberta that we learned from Heather on Tuesday? Thanks.
Sure. My name is Stephanie Westlund. I am the education lead at Solar Alberta. So I deal with both of our solar training side, as well as our public education, webinars, seminars, that sort of thing. Solar Alberta is in its 34th year of operation, and we're a not-for-profit society that's basically dedicated to accelerating Alberta's energy transition to a just and sustainable future. And we do so by advocating, educating, and serving as an industry and community hub for solar energy. We have a membership that's made up of more than 210 individuals and more than 150 businesses. And we also have more than 32,000 followers. So what's great about Alberta and solar is that Alberta is basically the solar powerhouse of Canada. So we are the second sunniest province, next only to Saskatchewan in terms of solar generating potential. And currently, Alberta homes and businesses are installing solar at a rate of about 1,000 arrays per month. I started working at Solar Alberta just more than 2 years ago, and the number of arrays has more than doubled on homes and businesses. And I'm actually one of those microgenerators. So I've had solar on my home since 2022. And I just looked this morning to see how much energy I've produced since then. And it's more than 29 megawatt hours of electricity since it was installed.
Wow, that's cool. I didn't realize, I didn't get this from Heather on Monday, sorry, is that Solar Alberta has been around for 34 years. Wow, that's incredible. And yeah, this doubling of growth that's happening, more than doubling, you said. It's remarkable.
2 years from when I started working here, so.
Right, yeah, I can just imagine the growth curve that you're part of now. Yeah, it's incredible. And interesting to hear how rapidly it is being deployed. Yeah, absolutely. The one thing that we didn't get into with Heather was battery storage. Can you speak a little about what's coming on in battery storage? There's a lot of, again, I know you're more solar focused, but I know batteries are also hand in hand with that. Can you speak to the advances in battery storage for folks a little bit?
So batteries is something that's changing rapidly. It's something we are watching at Solar Alberta. Right now, battery storage is still pretty expensive. It's similar to the cost of a solar array. So a lot of homes in Alberta, it doesn't make sense unless you have like a cabin in the woods to be off grid and to have battery storage. That said, the price is coming down and there are new advances. Things like sodium ion batteries are coming, which will be a bit more stable, and they'll also have, they're less it's affected by cold weather and that sort of thing. So we're really watching, and we think that in the next few years, there's going to be some huge changes, and it'll be more realistic to also add batteries to homes and businesses more regularly.
Great. Okay, so I'm going to be looking forward to further conversations around that. Thank you for bringing it into view for folks, though. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and we do periodically offer webinars. So if people are interested, I think we have a session on batteries coming up at our solar show at the end of January. So definitely keep an eye on our website. It's just solaralberta.ca, and you can keep an eye on what's happening.
Okay. I'll be sure to include a link to that. Thank you for highlighting that for us, Stephanie.
Sure.
Okay, so back onto the task at hand. I just want to give a little updates before we invite Miguel on. So thank you again to Jeremy Farkas for Mayor, Ali Unwala for Ward 1, Jennifer Winus and Trevor Kavanagh for Ward 2, Andrew Yule and Jasprina DeHall for Ward 3, DJ Kelly for Ward 4, and David Barrett, Anthony Askew, and Mike Atkinson for Ward 7, who joined me yesterday for your participation. It's been a wonderful experience, learning experience. Thank you, Stephanie, for bringing in some new info for me from the solar side. You can check out their conversations on my YouTube channel. You can also check it out on the website. The links will be included in this live stream as well. And yeah, check out my conversation with Heather in absence of a Ward 6 conversation. So please use the QR code in the corner to remind your candidates to participate. The more that we get them to understand that natural services are vital in their decision-making, the better it is for all of us. That being said, I have no more mayoral candidates lined up in these schedules. So if you want to hear from the rest of your mayoral candidates, please use this QR code, reach out to them and let them know that you do want to see them take this conversation into view. Okay, and before we begin, please note that candidates hold a range of environmental positions, priorities, and objectives. Positions taken by participants, either individually or collectively, do not necessarily represent those of the Calgary Environmental Roundtable as a whole. Again, this campaign or CERT does not endorse or recommend any candidates or political parties, but I will do my best to offer my personal endorsements in the last week of the election. Okay, lastly, please remember to like, follow, and subscribe to the Gravity Well. The more people that see this, the more that it is worth the candidates' time to participate. So please make sure that you give them a thanks for this. Okay, so with that, I'm very happy to welcome Miguel Cortinez to the studio. Thank you so much for joining us, Miguel.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and I see you're in your vehicle. You were mentioning you were at an event. Do you mind?
I'm not driving, okay? I'm not driving. I just hear about that.
Yeah, of course. But you were just at a firefighter event. Is that right?
Yeah, I came here to the Northeast in the Calgary Firefighters Association. They invite us to a meeting to all the candidates, and it was. I already had a great conversation. They are doing an amazing job, and they have significant challenges regarding equipment, fire halls, and I think it's part of the priorities I have, more infrastructure in the city. There are many areas that we need more infrastructure, and the firefighters is one of the departments that need some help. And yeah, so.
Yeah, I was saying offline, my husband is a city firefighter, so I really appreciate your taking the time to meet with them. Okay, so Miguel, I'm going to give a little bit of your bio for folks. Miguel Cortinez has over 2 decades of leadership experience across Calgary nonprofits and business sector. As a community builder and entrepreneur, he believes Calgary holds an incredible potential to create new opportunities for all citizens and is committed to represent Ward 8 with integrity, purpose, and vision. Through his work with organizations like Casa Mexico Foundation, CCA Alberta, and Innova International, Miguel has connected people, empowered creators, and driven meaningful growth. His campaign for city councillor is rooted in responsible development, public service, and open community engagement to help Calgary thrive. Welcome, Miguel. Thank you so much for running. Yeah. Okay. So unless there's anything else, let's get into it. So I'm going to ask you the first question from the questionnaire. So Calgary's climate strategy outlines 5-year goals to reduce energy poverty and utility costs, create clean economy jobs, improve public health, and build more equitable, climate resilient communities. If elected, How will you achieve these outcomes?
Well, I think we're in a great city, and I think for many years I have heard about these conversations about energy and environment, and sometimes like two different positions about energy and environment. For me, always it has been about together, right? There is no one or each other. So we live in an oil and gas city, and I know many companies that I work in doing a great job in the oil and gas sector, but also developing great technologies just to do the best, right? To reduce emissions, for example. And I know companies that are doing international job as well. And I think as just from the city point of view, I know that it was a declaration of emergency in the beginning of the current council about. And for me, I think it's not an emergency. It's more like a day-to-day obligation. We need to be engaged with the environment. It's something that is something that every citizen, every official elected, every person love in Calgary. We need to take care of the environment, and for that we need to be very proactive in creating the policies, just to engage. I know that there are many things happening right now in terms of incentives, right, for citizens just to implement some kind of technologies that are available right now. I'm based, for example, in Sea Space here in Mardalup, and there is a company that is joining us in the co-working space. It's called Solas Energy, and they work a lot with environmental projects. But they were very kind to make an installation of two stations to charge your car to EV, electrical vehicle there. So this is one example of things that this was a private initiative just because they want to do it. But I think if we start to create this kind of mentality and work together, because I think we need to work together, right? That's very, very important. And from my point of view, the city of Calgary council, if I elected, obviously it's to support any initiative that is going to be environmental friendly, because we need to be careful with our nature, right? So.
Wonderful. Stephanie, did you want to reflect some? Sorry, I didn't get a chance to circle around with you on that. Are you okay to offer some reflection for Miguel?
Am I okay to offer some reflection?
Like some of the things you heard from him, I noticed you were taking some good notes here for us. Right. Did you want to offer some thoughts of what he offered? I can do it. Okay, so I heard you.
Go for it.
Okay, sorry. So I heard you talk about the different positions of energy and environment and how they are integrated, and how important that is, that we are thinking of them together, not separately, that everybody needs to take this logic into their day-to-day thinking. It's a part of all of us, all of our responsibility, if you will. I love that you said the word obligation. It's really important that we appreciate that we're obliged to natural services and making sure that we have that. And you talked about the work that some individuals are doing to really help make those changes visible, like you were talking about those 2 parking spots that you're seeing in your workspace. So, and it's interesting how these little things end up adding up to something significant. So thank you so much for that. Okay, Stephanie, I'll let you ask the next one, and then I can offer some reflection after he's done. Go ahead.
Sure. Miguel, how will you ensure that new community development and redevelopment in Calgary protects our watersheds, river and creek valleys, wetlands, and the wildlife and urban biodiversity that depend on these ecosystems?
Well, we are having a significant challenge with the growth that we are experiencing in our city. As you know, there are a lot of developments happening, big building, different kind of developments, and obviously this is creating different challenges. We need housing. That's something important. I'm in favor of creating more housing, but I think also we need to work together. I think we need to plan together. City developers, they are very important in the conversation. City planners and community. And probably I'm going to add as well, like non-for-profit groups like yourselves, for example. So we need to work together to create a vision of the city that we want for the future. Because right now with this, I'm going to talk about the blanket zoning that is happening. The developers are building whatever they want to build, like single, duplex, fourplex, 8, 12, or 16 or more. And right now we are experiencing real challenges with parking, for example, with all the water system or the current systems that we have right now. We are using more of the same infrastructure that it was created probably 12 or 20 years ago, 50 years ago. And that's the reason, because we are having main challenges with the breakout that we just had in our city just a few months ago. So I think planning is the key issue in trying to work together. So we work together and make responsible to developers that they are start to planning, not just for breaking, creating bricks or houses or buildings or whatever. They need to build in all the structure. I love the concept of university district, for example. It's one example that I put always, like I like the way that is created with some kind of housing densification is happening there. A lot of parking, underground parking, a lot of, it looks like a very vibrant place. And I'm sure, I don't know the details exactly, but I'm sure that they work together to protect also the green area, because they have a lot of green areas around, for example. So it needs to be a work that we need to think more than just building bricks. It's building communities, not just the physical infrastructure, but the social infrastructure as well, because we want to have vibrant communities, livable communities. And again, we need to protect our rivers or water systems, right? Just to, I don't know, it's a complex, very technical, probably. We need to bring the experts, but we need to work together, basically.
Yeah, I loved hearing you talking about this sort of 4 pillars to make sure that a project is being planned. So you talked about developers working with planners and the community and the groups that know about the science and like you were saying, the need for us to protect our rivers and waterways and green spaces as we go. So yeah, thank you so much. It's that foundational stuff that will help us make those projects agreeable to everyone involved when you're involved in the process from the beginning. Thank you for appreciating that, Miguel. Okay, next question is around how will you commit budget dollars towards protecting Calgary's biodiversity, improving wildlife safety in urban environments, including through measures such as enforcing bird-friendly building standards, retrofitting existing structures, and supporting safe wildlife corridors, please?
Well, I think we need to, probably is related with the incentives that we need to create for. I know that there are some incentives right now in place just to install like solar panels, for example, in the houses, or just to use toilets, right, that are more environmental friendly. And I think right now with many technologies like happening, like I don't know, another example from, I don't know, the creation probably of water tanks, right? That you can reuse water, for example, that comes. I think we need to be, as a city, we need to be more proactive in creating this kind of, I would say, fiscal incentives, basically to help people just to upgrade. There are, well, what happened? There are 2 aspects here. There are, again, I'm going to come back to the developments that are happening right now. I think the new developments that are happening right now, I'm sure they are using basically new technologies just to have more efficient ways to build, and that is going to be important just to make an impact in the way that we build. And for all houses, that we have a lot of old houses, so we need to create these incentives that we were discussing. So
Okay, So what I hear you saying is basically you would support the city in terms of adding more incentives to help basically citizens to upgrade to add upgrade measures such as bird friendly standards and that sort of thing. Is that what I'm understanding? And I guess making sure that new developments are using the most efficient standards. Did you want to add anything to that?
Yes, I think. Well, I'm going to put another example that, again, I'm going to put example of C Space in Mardaloup. It's a great, great building that is a historical building. It was renovated like probably 5-6 years ago. But wow, they did a fantastic job in bringing the building to be a modern building. Right now, they are using LED technologies, for example, in the building. They use, when there is a lot of sunshine, the building just close the windows. If it's many air, it's a lot of new technologies. And the building in general is very, very high energy efficient, for example. And I think we need to. I'm going to come back to the topic of infrastructure, because we are living this amazing growth, and Calgary we are going to double population in the coming 10 years. We are going to be around 3 million in 10 years. This implies obviously a lot of challenges, but a lot of opportunities as well for modernizing our city to be a more cosmopolitan city, to be an example as well of a city that is a leader in environmental technologies. And what a great place to have, to create functional houses, functional housing, functional buildings that are energy efficient and also are beauty, right? Because we need to combine the aesthetics also with the functionality and the energy efficiency. I think we have a great opportunity, not just to make an impact in citizens of Calgary, but also a great opportunity for business, right? That companies that have this kind of technologies, they can improve. And the city of Calgary as a supporter or detonator of this kind of mentality, because we live in a great, great city. I believe in Calgary. We are a very vibrant city. We're a fantastic city. I have seen the growth in the last 24 years, although downtown was very small. Right now it's super big. And right now, wow, we are in a great momentum that we are going to be an example of many, many cities. Many people is looking at us. We can be a great example. And what the best way that to support the environment construction, right? Very friendly construction environment. And City Hall, whoever comes to the position needs to be very, very supportive of this kind of mentality, I think.
Great. Denny, did you want to summarize anything from there?
Sure. Yeah. I just to hear, thinking about how you can have both, you can preserve something that's valuable from a visual perspective, from a longevity perspective, and bring it to those standards that are not only beneficial for us, but beneficial for the wildlife, and making sure that we have those spaces. Like, it sounds like to you, it's an automatic way of thinking that you just make those, when you have those opportunities available to you, why wouldn't you do something that's both cost effective, beautiful, and beneficial for the environment? So thank you for acknowledging that, Miguel. Go ahead, Stephanie, you can follow with the next question. Thank you.
Sure. Miguel, what steps will you take to ensure housing, rent, and transit in Calgary are affordable and accessible so that many Calgarians can access services with dignity and live and work in a healthy city?
Well, housing affordability is one of the main challenges that we have in our city. Obviously, to build housing for everyone is very, very important. Right now, again, with this blanket zoning, is a challenge, because right now the new buildings that are built are basically doing the opposite. Instead of creating affordable housing, they are increasing the prices in the areas that they are built. And this is this need to be fixed in some way. I have had the privilege of being in conversations with different groups that are working in this sector for creating under market housing or affordable housing for people. There are fantastic people working in different projects and trying to find the collaborations, probably partnerships with private and public partnerships, for example, just to try to find the spaces first. We need to find the spaces that probably the city of Calgary can provide the spaces. And second, start to build the housing that is necessary for all kind of people, right? Because we understand people needs a 3 million or 5 million housing, but somebody needs a housing that is just 200 or 500 or whatever it is. We need housing for everyone. We need housing for buyers, and we need housing for renters as well, because there are every type of economies as well. I have seen the great examples of ATCO, for example. ATCO is building right now affordable housing. They put a project in downtown, I think it's 11th Avenue. I think I saw the project. They built it like with this modular technology that they have used for years. And right now they build affordable housing, like a 4-story or 6-story building. I don't remember how many units, 30 units, around that number. But they build it very, very fast. And wow, it's that kind of mentality as well we need. We need companies that are doing very well, like ATCO, that is doing a lot of business in different areas, but giving back to the community, right? With these kind of projects, I think that balance is important. Another group that I met is the Affordable Partners for Housing as well. It's Jolene Livingston, an amazing lady. She's doing amazing projects in finding collaborations, doing fundraising just to build housing that are going to be affordable. So we need a collaboration. I think corporations, government, all these partnerships, just to find a solution, put people out of the streets as well. It's very sad to have people in the streets. I have been in conversations also about how to solve the situation that we have with homelessness and addictions, and it's a very complex problem. But I think first thing we need to provide an opportunity to people, and we need to provide probably a space like people can have the opportunity to be educated, to be treated, to be. And I'm very happy as well that I attended it was the Alberta Recovery Day like 2 weeks ago in the Sunday in the Bay Line area, and wow. Many organizations working to try to solve this issue. The University of Calgary, for example, they have a recovery center. Many organizations around there, but we need to work together again, just to solve the problems with affordable housing. And regarding transportation, of course, I think we need to maintain the incentives, right, to provide the low income pass to citizens that they don't have the resources to pay. I am in favor of just supporting that kind of incentives, and also to improve the transportation. We need to be more efficient. I support in the Green Line area to be finished, to be constructed, and there the transportation from the airport to downtown, for example, and to create more lines, probably using hydrogen or new technologies that are coming. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now.
Wonderful stuff, Miguel. So yeah, I heard you talking about making sure that there is a market for the houses that we are building and that we're not creating a bigger discrepancy, which is, I think, the trend I'm seeing in some areas too. Another guest said something, and I'm going to use his words for you, but almost like a red tape reduction for those assets that we do need, that affordable housing that we need for those certain members of the market that aren't being served in Calgary right now. So housing for all kinds of people is what I heard you say. Buyers and renters. So not just about buyers, but also thinking about renters and making sure that there's assets for people that need to rent as well. I love this idea of these modular homes that can go up quite rapidly, and really embracing that technology, as you're saying, to get those and understanding the intersectionality of affordability and then homelessness and addiction, and how that all leads to these these things that then require recovery measures and things like that. So just how, dealing or making sure we're looking after our citizens through affordable housing to begin with can really change the direction that our city heads in that way. And then lastly, you spoke about transportation and making sure there's incentives for low income folks and that there are more lines and more access for people in general. So thank you. That was wonderful. Okay, our next question is around ENMAX. So ENMAX is a wholly owned asset of the city of Calgary. What role do you see ENMAX playing in helping the city achieve its 2035 clean electricity goals, please?
Well, I think ENMAX needs to be a first-class corporation because I think I know it's funded by the city of Calgary. I heard that the CEO of ENMAX is making a very, very good amount of money, for example. They are providing a great service for our city. I think with this mentality of being a first-class city, a more cosmopolitan city, a more prosperous city, I think we need to have companies like ENMAX just to invest in innovation and technology. I think we need to have a first-class city corporation that just take us to the next level as well. So they have a great responsibility to provide electricity or water services to our homes or to our industry. And right now, as part of this need for more infrastructure, I think corporations like ENMAX, I think they have a significant role and they have a big responsibility. The big management, the top management of the company, and all the great workers that work in city of Calgary in ENMAX.
Okay, so I think that you're really leaning into this idea that ENMAX has a major role in helping Calgary be a first-class city and in sort of continuing to push for new infrastructure. Is that what I understand you saying?
I think so. I think ENMAX, obviously they have been in business for many years. They are part of the structure of the city of Calgary, part of us as a city office or city corporation, and I think they need to part of this infrastructure that we need. They need to help us, to bring I think innovation and technology. They need to invest in that part and just help us to bring with all these challenges that we have with the breakouts, right, of the water infrastructure that can happen in electricity as well, right, with more demand. Right now that we are going to have more demand with the data centers, for example, in Alberta, that they consume a lot of resources. I think we need to have we need to be prepared, right? We're talking about infrastructure. We need to be ahead of the just very futuristic, how we can see ourselves in I don't know, 20 years, whatever.
Yeah.
But in the long term, and companies like this, they have the resources, they have the executives, that they are the brains and the people, the experts in this area. And I think we need to use that resources that we have in our city. And I was mentioning that I don't recall the city that is using right now for the use of technology, right? The use of AI or new technologies just to, I don't know, to improve whatever is improvable, right? So
yeah, that's interesting. I don't know if you're aware that NRCan, like Natural Resources Canada, they actually produced a report in 2024 about the actual potential of rooftop solar. So I'm specifically bringing this up in the context of ENMAX and adding new technologies because they figured out, based on their calculations and looking at, Canada's goal towards a net zero electricity grid by 2035 and then a net zero emissions by 2050, that if we installed rooftop solar on most residential and commercial buildings in Canada, that would meet 76% of our energy needs by 2050. So I think that I get the sense that that's what you're talking about, is sort of looking both forward but also using what technologies already exist to meet, I guess, Calgary's 2035 goals for electricity.
I think so. I think we need to rely on our traditional resources in some way, but also in all the renewables options that we have. Solar is one, for example, or I don't know. I know that we are creating electricity as well. I was in Pincher Creek like 6 or 10 years ago, and I saw the winds. So and it's amazing how I don't know exactly how much electricity they are generating, but I think it's a combination. We need to use all the traditional resources or traditional and the renewable, right? The renewable option, because I don't think we are ready just to rely on just one type of resource. We need to. I attended the hydrogen conference like 2 years ago in Edmonton, and ATCO was talking about this big goal. I was talking to Nancy Sutter, the presidency of ATCO, and the big ambition they have about to ATCO to be a leader in hydrogen generation. And I saw some examples they are using for transportation for vehicles. And but it's a combination. I think we need to start to how we can combine of resources, right? So.
Yeah, we had a great conversation about hydrogen and hydrogen transport in our conversation with Heather on Monday. Yeah, there's a lot of, you spoke about limitations with some energy sources, Miguel, and water is one of those limitations when it comes to hydrogen technology and the ability. And as Stephanie's saying, we have this readily available resource in solar that is, cheap and ready to go. And the battery technology is finally catching up with it too. So it seems like that is becoming more clear for us, the direction to potentially head. And also that, hydrogen is quite a dangerous resource to be using in transport. It's highly explosive. And so it's something really like more so than natural gas vehicles, more so than batteries. This is a very dangerous, highly potent, energy source, if you will. So, okay, that's enough of that. Sorry, Stephanie, I went off on a tangent there. Okay. Would you like to ask the next one, please?
Sure. Miguel, how will you advance sustainable water use and watershed protection in Calgary's growth and development decisions?
No, that's a good one. Well, we need to. I think I'm going to come back to the use of technologies. How to better use. I know in Alberta we are very, very. There are a lot of people, technical people, that is developing different technologies to be more efficient, right, in saving our resources. I think we need to work with experts just to have a better use of our water, to recycle. In the past, I used to work with Waterworks. It was a local company, a Calgary company, that they work with different technologies just to recycle, right? A lot of the recycling of the water. And I'm not an expert in the area, but I think we need to find ways to reuse water, and just for industrial. I know for industrial uses, it's very feasible, right, to use the same water, just one. So, or for parks, for example, I know the water can be recycled as well. But yeah, again, we need to use whatever technology is available, and as a city council, we need to advocate for to listen first, to understand, to have more knowledge about this kind of technologies, work with experts in that areas. But I know that here in Alberta, here in Calgary, we have great companies already working in these environmental areas. I used to work many years ago with it's called the Canadian Energy Environmental Group, and it was a group of 6 companies, like Waterworks was one of them, the Alberta Research Council as well. It was there is a environmental labs as well here in Calgary, and it's and I think we have great technologies that are already used in other countries as well. We are exploring this kind of technologies. I think we need to take advantage of our great talent that we have here in Calgary to reduce water use, for example, right?
Yeah, thank you. So I heard you talking about making sure that we are looking to the best technology available, that we are leaning on experts. So I think that's something that, I've heard from you throughout this, Miguel, and I think this is where groups like the Environmental Roundtable can be of service to you. There's the Watershed Council groups as well, are critical in terms of understanding the health of our watershed and how to make sure that we are not only protecting what is there, but also potentially restoring in places where we need to restore. So those are definitely some of the experts that can be there for you to help, like you said, advocate and understand first and foremost before you make those decisions. Really appreciate you appreciating those groups. Okay, you made it to our last question, Miguel. So how will you ensure recommendations from Calgarians, including residents, frontline communities, environmental groups, and city staff, are meaningfully considered in council decisions? Thank you.
Well, in this campaign, I have had a great experience talking to people, talking to different groups, just having conversation, and it's very, very powerful, the conversations, to be engaged.
Oh, I hope we didn't lose them entirely. Okay. I wonder if he knows. Maybe I'll send him a note here. Oh, here he is. Perfect. Or not. Okay. Well, we'll see if he comes back. Yeah. Have you had any opportunity to engage with your municipal candidates or through the city, Stephanie? Have you done any work? Oh, he's coming back in the studio. Let's see if I get him back on stage for us. There you are. Are you? Oh, all good. Yeah, I'm so glad you were able to come back to us. Okay, do you remember the question? Do you need us to repeat? It was about engagement with residents, communities, environmental group, and city staff. Thanks.
Yes, there is a perception right now that there is a disconnection between the current city council and citizens in many aspects, mainly with all these developments that we discussed before. But I think one of my priorities as well is just to regain the trust of the community, to engage with the community. I was saying that I have had many conversations with people, with groups, and listening right now with the Calgary Firefighters Association, listening to them directly, right? Just to learning more is a great, a powerful tool. And I think as part of a city council, we need to continue to be engaged with groups, having open conversations with citizens, with organizations, with non-for-profit groups, with corporations, with everybody, and from those conversations, I think we can create powerful tools to help the people and to serve the city of Calgary.
Jane, do you want to take the?
Oh, sure. Sorry. Yeah, thank you, Miguel. I think it's wonderful, like you said, just being engaged with people, listening and hearing what problems are coming to the forefront for certain groups, and leaning into that. Like you said, we have a lot of challenges in this city, so it's really nice that you are prepared to engage with things that are often not easy to engage with. We do have a lot of challenges, like you said. So thank you for running. I really appreciate you. I've had a glimpse of what it's like to run a campaign, and it is exhausting. So thank you so much for doing the legwork and doing the work for the city of Calgary. It means a lot to folks like me. Stephanie, did you have any final comments? I'll let you also, Miguel, offer some final thoughts too before we let you go.
I don't think I have any final comments. I did appreciate all of your thoughts around making sure that different voices are coming to the table, and making sure that it's not just business interests only, but citizens and environmental groups and NGOs and lots of. And I enjoyed hearing your examples of the different types of areas at C-Space and University District that you think have been successful and could be used as models. Yeah.
Wonderful. Any final things you want to offer, Miguel, before we let you get back to your day?
Absolutely. No, first, thank you very much for the opportunity. It was great to have this conversation with you. And I just invite all your viewers to visit my website, miguelcortinez.ca, and learn more about myself, hopefully to have the support on October 20, that is election day. And I'm a great believer in Calgary. I think I have the capacity, the professional capacity, the knowledge, and the leadership tools as well to create collaborations. We need leadership in our city. We need a great vision. I really believe in Calgary, and yeah, just visit my website, and hopefully I can have the support of your viewers. And thank you very much for this opportunity.
Oh, thank you so much for being here, Miguel. I'm sure our viewers will appreciate it. Good luck in the rest of this, and good luck on the 20th.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Have a great rest of your day. Oops, cut him short there. Okay. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for helping me along today. Yeah, do you want to, we've got a little bit of time left here. Do you have any other insights or thoughts that you want to leave folks in terms of Solar Alberta? I know, you were saying that you have, sorry, what is happening in January? Can you repeat what
So we have our solar show in January. The solar show it's a 4-day online conference. So normally it has sessions over the lunch hour as well as in the mornings. We offer things like Solar 101. So if you don't know anything about solar, you can come and learn. We're a nonprofit, so we're not pushing anything. We're not selling anything. We're just trying to put more information out there. So the other thing that we are advocating for is a solar ready bylaw in Calgary and in cities around Alberta. So that means that when buildings are being developed, that they're developed with solar in mind. So they don't have to install solar, but it's a lot cheaper to consider building like a roof line that would work with solar, as well as putting in the right type of electrical conduit and those kind of things. There's a whole list of solar ready aspects that can be considered during the building phase that make it a lot cheaper and easier to install solar later if somebody wants to. So we'll also have a session on solar ready design at our solar show. If you have solar, one of the other sessions that's coming up is about optimizing your array. So once you have solar, a lot of people actually want to figure out how to reduce their electricity use. So that's something we'll be talking about as well. And there's a few other really great sessions coming up. We also do offer sort of monthly-ish, I would say, webinars. They're free. So in 2 weeks, we have one on building integrated PV. So that means things like windows, panel, like siding and that sort of thing.
Neat.
Yeah, so that's an area that's developing. It's sort of I would say it's an infancy stage in Canada. It's a lot more advanced in Europe, but we're having both an installer come and talk about installing that, as well as an architect talking about designing buildings using it's BIPV, so building integrated solar PV. So, and then
that's cool. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, so we do have lots of, and honestly, because we provide most of this educational programming for free, we're able to also put the webinars or recordings of the webinars on our YouTube channel. So if there's stuff you've been wondering about solar, you're not sure where to look, you can go to our YouTube channel. I can't remember what it is offhand, but I think if you just look at Solar Alberta YouTube, you'll find it. Or if you go on our website, you'll also be able to find that. So we are, as I said, one of the sunniest provinces in Alberta.
Yeah, in Canada. Yeah.
In
So I
Canada,
didn't realize
sorry.
we're second. So Saskatchewan is better. I mean, I guess that makes sense just because it's prairie, open prairie more.
Yeah, I mean, there is a map from the Government of Canada. If you look on any of our Solar 101, we always show the map. So yeah, so Saskatchewan has like just a little bit more sun, but we're really second, and especially the southern half of Alberta.
Right. Yeah. That's really cool. I just found your YouTube site, so I will put it in the chat here as well for folks. Yeah, and I have been to one of your webinars so far and want to attend more. So if people want to find them, how do they end up? Like, do you have because I know I am a Solar Alberta member because I have solar and I've done that. So where do we, even members, find the updates of when your webinars are happening?
The best place to go is our website is solaralberta.ca.
Okay.
And then we have an events tab. And so it's events / upcoming -events. But if you just go to the events tab, you'll be able to find what's coming up. And the other thing that's nice about that is we also feature other environmental organizations in our events calendar. So you'll also be able to see if there's other events that are related to our mission, as well as our courses that are coming up in there as well.
Fantastic. Yeah, really appreciate it. This is, it's been such a pleasure to do these, I have to say, to get more informed myself as to, the advancements and the deployment rates. And I just learned yesterday that ENMAX is working on a heavy duty electric truck fleet. So, there's a lot of things happening in the city of Calgary that are moving us in the right direction. And, a lot of people don't know about it. I feel like there's a different conversation happening than to what is happening on the ground. Can you speak, and I know this is putting you on the spot, so we can obviously just add this as an answer if not, but when you talk about the rates, like, do you know what percentage of the way are we there? Or like, how can we indicate, you talked about earlier, if we were to fully engage in solar deployment, all rooftops in, let's call it, was it Canada, that we would meet our clean electricity goals, we'd be 76% of the way there. Can you speak to where we are at, or like how this deployment, is there a way to do that in?
I know we have those stats. I don't have them at the tip of my fingers. I think we're still a far way off. So we definitely are looking at ideally more solar, more battery storage eventually, particularly battery storage at the commercial level, and then also more interties as well, are with provinces like BC and that sort of thing, are really the areas that we'd like to see.
Right. Heather touched on that again. And now that I think about it, she mentioned the scorecard. So those scorecards are indicative of where we are not at with respect to our goals for 2035 and 2050, correct?
Yeah. So if you look on any of our social media channels, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, and LinkedIn, you'll see our posts this week about our municipal scorecards. And so you can look and see there's 10 municipalities that we've scored as sort of a solar friendly. You'll see that most of them need a lot more work.
Right. Okay. So this is a place, like I think I heard Heather saying that we should apply some pressure as a Albertan community. I didn't realize that there were houses being built that were like not cooperative with solar. Like, it's actually taking away the opportunities for solar to not only look good, but also be more effective for the owners. Yeah.
I live in an inner city community, but one of my neighbors recently had a quote on solar, and her roof has a lot of peaks and gables and that sort of thing, which my roof doesn't. And so then when she got the quote for her array, there was going to be kind of panels, kind of a mishmash everywhere. And she said, but I want one like like, and she pointed over at our array, which is like sort of like the south side is just covered in panels. And so ideally, if you're going to put peaks and gables and stuff, it would either be on the north side or not at all, right? Like that you look at having a roof line that's clear and can accept panels easily.
And it's something to think about for anybody who's building a house, you know, think about those gables. They might look good for a moment, but they will impede potential future power prosumer capability of your home. So yeah, it's really important for people to think about that. Any other sort of myth busting or, you know, facts that you want to throw out for people before we wrap?
I think in Alberta, we have something called the, so the government restricts how much solar homeowners are allowed to put on their home. So you're only allowed to put on as much solar as will cover your energy needs for the year. And so, you know, people aren't making a lot of money off it. They're just trying to cover basically their needs. And I think what else? That falls under the microgeneration regulation. I think one really cool thing about Calgary that I just learned actually is that CBE schools, there's 43 arrays on CBE schools across the city.
Wow.
I didn't realize that we had that many.
Wonderful.
So
yeah, that's good to know. Good to know that that's happening. And, you know, I also think about this opportunity to renaturalize along with it would be really cool to see on school grounds and stuff and, you know, some community gardens for kids to be involved in and stuff too would be really neat. Yeah, lots of opportunities, and it's neat to see some things coming together for our city. I'm just going to take a moment. Well, first of all, to say thank you very much, Stephanie, for joining me. I really appreciate you coming on and co-hosting and working with Solar Alberta. It's been cool to learn what you guys are up to. And now that I'm a member, I'm becoming more aware, which is helpful. And you're right. Like I only got 70% capacity when I got solar in 2015. To me, it was like a money thing. I just thought I don't need to spend all of this right now. And now I'm thinking, what is my USAT now? How can I shift that? Do I want to add? Do I need an electric vehicle so that I'm offsetting, like you said, maybe not battery storage technology, but maybe a car makes sense to have that relationship? All of those questions are in my head. So if there's a way that you can point me to some conversations you have had around that or future conversations that you and I could have, I'd be happy to have that with you.
Yeah, that sounds good. There is, so as I said at the Solar Show, we'll be having a seminar exactly on that topic.
Perfect.
So
I will attend. Excellent. Starting there. Okay. Thank you so much, Stephanie. I'll let you go before. I'll give a few updates here. Thank you so much. Okay. So just to remind folks, please send your letter to your candidates. Use the QR code in the corner. The answers from Miguel are now on the Ward 8 page. Please check out Nathaniel Schmitz, his answers as well. Some really thoughtful stuff in there, so please check it out. I'm sorry he wasn't able to join us. I will try and sneak in another conversation with him if you'd like. And remember that your mayoral candidates, aside from Jeremy Farkas, have not committed to participating to this conversation. So if you would like them to, please reach out to them. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day.